there needs to be a real compromise here. We're in a divided government. Democrats are not going to get everything they want. Republicans are not going to get everything they want. Yes, H.R. 2 is the strongest border security package that has ever passed the House. Do I expect H.R. 2 will be the final bill? No, because you have to compromise and you have to find a way forward. But that requires Democrats to come to the table. And so far, up until the last 2 weeks, they really have not been willing to do that. Look, my wife is from Moldova. Her family lives on the Ukraine border. I want to provide aid and support to Ukraine. Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and the regime in Iran have been working to undermine the United States and our allies. We need to have a comprehensive plan forward, but it requires an administration that is putting a plan forward, that is answering questions on what the end game is in Ukraine and how we are going to utilize these resources. An administration that is putting forth a plan on the border, which they really have not done, with all due respect. You can't say they've done anything on the border when 10 million migrants have flooded our southern border in 2.5 years.
Understood. I clearly not a fan of, you're clearly not a fan of the administration in this case, or maybe at all, Congressman, but just to kind of get to this a little bit more with what we're hearing from Chris Murphy, from James Lankford, even Kirsten Sinema, and reporting that we have from inside the White House would suggest that there's actually been movement here. Are you encouraged to hear Democrats say, yeah, we'll talk about redefining asylum law, or this White House saying, yeah, maybe safe third countries is a good idea? We weren't having that conversation a couple of weeks ago. Maybe you're right. H.R. 2 is part of the reason for that, but isn't that progress?
Look, anytime you're in a divided government, there's going to have to be a give and a take. And I think the reality is, and most Americans can see this, if H.R. 2 didn't pass, if House Republicans didn't make border security a big part of the discussion, we wouldn't be having this discussion. The White House and the Senate Dems would have tried to jam through a supplemental without it. But you look at a state like New York, where I represent, and the mayor of New York City has been demanding action because New York City is crumbling under the weight of this massive influx of migrants. And so we need to deal with this. We need to deal with aid to Israel expeditiously. We need to deal with aid to Ukraine. I'm hopeful that we're making progress. But, I think Senate Democrats and Senate Republicans need to remember, you got to pass this through the House as well. And they better make sure that they're including the Speaker in these negotiations.